Hi, my name's Kevin Patton. I'm a therapist in Hackney. Uh, it's been almost a year since lockdown, and people are beginning to feel a little bit overwhelmed by it all, a little bit tired, a little bit of COVID fatigue. And when things come on top, relationships can get a bit bent out of shape. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about overwhelm. We all get overwhelmed. Sometimes our feelings are just so strong that they really diminish our ability to cope. And I'm going to look at some simple exercises you can do when things are just getting on top. I've got one nerve left and you're getting on it. So a little bit of physiology now for the science part. Okay, something happens. We get a bit of an alarm going. This is important, pay attention. Our brain gets a bit of a boost to process this new thing. That usually happens by the release, first of all, by noradrenaline. Now, depending on what our mood is like, if we've in a nice mellow place and that's some dopamine going, then we're going to be paying attention. We're going to be more focused. If, however, we're already a little bit running ragged, a little bit got some other neurochemicals running around our system, then we're going to be feeling more anxious, more irritable, more So, as well as the self-care about keeping your baseline low so that when things peak, it doesn't take you over your tipping point. We're going to be looking at some remedial action. We're going to be looking at getting some endorphins going, bringing you back down a little bit so that then you can look at who you are, what you want out of life, how you want to be living, and then do something that's going to make some of that show up in your life. So I like using this prop. This is your life. It's clear. This is your mind. It's clear. You can see through it. And then stuff starts happening. We get all worked up. And now we can't find our way. We're blinded by all of this stuff. We just can't make sense of what's going on. We all get worked up. Now, actually, if you do nothing, it will settle all by itself, right? Neuroplasticity, when a neuron gets activated, it will keep firing for 20 minutes and it'll go down all by itself. You don't have to do anything, but 20 minutes is a long time. Once adrenaline gets into the mix, the whole fight or flight, that can go on for an hour and a half. And that is a very long time to sit with your feelings. You can do that. It takes a bit of practice. But most people find that they want to spend less time settling themselves and more time doing what matters. So this is almost settled. It's getting there. If you can wait, your mind will settle and then you can go on with life. We're going to look at a few things that we can do that will accelerate this process. What we're going to be looking at is releasing endorphins through diaphragmatic breathing. I'm going to take you through 4 techniques. You don't have to do all 4 of them. Find the one that works for you. Give each one a try. They all work in a slightly different way. The first one is developed by the armed forces and is now used a lot by paramedics, people having panic attacks, and it's called square breathing. Now you can do this by drawing with your finger a little square on your thigh or on the palm of your hand, but I'm going to do it quite visibly. So breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. This, using a gesture, counting and focusing on the breath, is very effective at shifting focus away from the things that are chattering away in your mind and showing you up. It is slowing the breath, oxygenating the blood, and slowing your heart. So you've got the physiological, the psychological, and also this conscious breathing, flexing the diaphragm a little bit. When you flex the diaphragm, like any other muscle, you're putting it under stress. You do that enough, it releases endorphins. The next exercise is really just a tweak on this one. It's called Anulum Velum. You might have seen this in some films. It's particularly good at helping you come down from high arousal states. There are some funny things you can do with your fingers. If you want to be a purist, you bring your 2 middle fingers like that. Place one either side. I prefer thumb and index finger. Close your left nostril. Breathe in through your right nostril. Hold for 4 seconds. Close your right nostril and breathe out through your left. All the way out. Breathe in through your left nostril. Hold for 4 seconds. Close your left nostril. And breathe out through your right nostril. All the way out. That is 1 round. You can do that usually for 5 or 6 minutes. This, using your fingers, concentrating, focusing on your breath and the counting, again, refocuses you away from what's driving you nuts. And it has the effect of oxygenating your blood, slowing your heart. Most of the air we breathe in, most of the oxygen we breathe in, 75% of it we breathe straight back out again, because our lungs are already full of air. So by breathing out all the way, get rid of the stale air in our lungs, and more of the air, more of the oxygen gets to be where it needs to be, into our lungs, into our blood, and up into our brain. And the heart is like a pump. The higher the blood oxygen content, the slower it pumps. The lower the blood oxygen content, the faster it pumps. So just to go over that one again, close your right nostril. Breathe in through your left. Hold for 4. Switch nostrils. Close your left. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close your nostril. Close your right nostril. Breathe out through your left. All the way. And in through your left. Hold for 4. Close your left nostril. Breathe out through your right nostril. I think I got that the other way around the first time. It doesn't really matter. Physiologically and psychologically, it's doing the trick. The next exercise takes this diaphragmatic breathing and using gestures, cranks it up one step further. And this one is called Brahmari Pranayama. And it's a little strange, not really something you want to be doing sitting on the bus. You might have seen this in films when someone is getting overwhelmed. You close off this part of the ear here, close it down, push against the inside of your head. You do that with your thumbs, push your fingers onto your ears, push your fingers over your eyes, blocking out the light, and make a noise with your lips. Constantly breathing out. This, closing off your ears and closing off your eyes, this makes the sound resonate in your head. Very difficult to be consciously thinking about anything with this sound resonating in your head. So you've got the gesture, you've got the sound, the breathing out, constantly pushing the diaphragm up. So physiologically, you're placing the diaphragm under stress. It is going to be getting the body to release endorphins. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Just breathe in normally. More of the oxygen is going to where it needs to be. You're slowing your heart rate. You're oxygenating the blood. You're shifting the focus away from what's troubling you. So that one, close your ears, close your eyes. It's quite important to experiment with this a little bit to get the ears closed enough for it to resonate. Now you can do this simply just by sticking your fingers in your ears and closing your eyes. That works too. Just perhaps not quite as elegant. Now, the last diaphragmatic exercise that I'm going to show you is Kapapalti pranayama. And this is an exhalation through both nostrils. Repeated, 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 repeated. Now, it doesn't have to be sharp and violent. You will find that it should move your abdominal wall back. And your diaphragm will leap a little bit in your chest. It doesn't have to be a big. It can be a series of short, gentle. Get the diaphragm going. You might find yourself getting a little bit lightheaded with this because it's very quick exhalation. You are actually, this one is more used to wake you up rather than bring you down. So this one can be done when you need a little bit more of a boost, when you need a little bit more energy, when slumped after the day, or you've had some negative thoughts or negative, your heart sinks. You just can't be bothered. What is the point? Give yourself a little bit of energy. It's quite an energizing, because what you're doing is denying the brain oxygen. You're making your heart speed up to get the available oxygen up to where it needs to be for your brain. Simply making your heart speed up a little bit. So those are 4 exercises. Square breathing, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. You can do that describing the square on the palm of your hand or your thigh. It doesn't have to be this big shape in the air. Then there's Overwhelm. Hold, change nostril, out, hold, change nostril. Hold, out. Actually meant to do that. So the same nostril you breathe out. So next one, Breathe in through that one, out, in, out, in, out. Body pranayama. That noise, let it resonate in your head. Constant pressure on your diaphragm, just pushing it up. And the last, to wake yourself up, energize yourself a little bit. Kapapalti pranayama. So you can bring yourself up, you can bring yourself down, whatever it takes to reach equilibrium. Focus on who you want to show up as, the sort of life you want to be living, and do things that bring that into being. Remember that when we get all upset, it will settle all by itself. You don't need to be doing anything for that feeling to go away. It will do it all by itself if you just give it time. But if you absolutely, positively have to bring yourself to equilibrium and act now, you can use those breathing exercises. Thank you for listening. I hope you find this useful.